Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
read that right.
It's episode 14,
Yeah, and
but
it's
it's
called
also
episode
episode
11.
11.
We're rule breakers, trailblazers.
We're
What do you
crazy
want?
people.
We're off the rails. That's the
We're
Jonah Complex
mental.
way.
We
Um,
talk about this episode like it's episode 11, like a lot
because
in this podcast.
we don't have a plan. We just
But
do it.
this is actually episode 14.
Episode 14. And it's called The Truth.
But we
In
decided to
concept,
call it,
it's called The Truth, but it's called episode 11 because it's too
yeah,
funny that we keep referring to it as an episode that it's not.
that is really funny,
It
inherently.
is hilarious.
Because we've told you
Um,
it's funny.
we're funny. That's how it works, right? We just
Yeah,
say it
yeah,
and
yeah. Anyway,
it
we'll let
works.
past Tom.
We'll let the episode run.
Yeah. Bye.
Hello.
And we're back.
This is an interesting one for us today.
No, we're not wearing the same clothes as last episode.
You dare say that.
How dare you?
So this is, in a sense, well, I was going to say pre-recorded, but obviously all of our podcasts are pre-recorded. But this is pre-recorded. We may film this again if anything massive happens over the next week.
Yeah. Yes.
We talked about it last episode. It's weird to say last episode because we literally turned the cameras off and then we turned them back on again. Another behind the scenes look into the Jonah complex.
The magical world of the Jonah complex.
But we might film it again depending on what happens. I'm inclined to say maybe just because we talked about last episode, the Oscars are gonna happen for us tomorrow.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They'll have happened for you last Sunday.
Yeah. We might potentially record another episode, like an actual more current episode next week. Release that one first, and then potentially release this, depending on what we talk about later, if it's not topical or whatever.
Yeah, but for now, let's just assume
this is episode 11.
The Jonah Complex, episode 11. My name is Tom, and that's Kian.
I'm Kian.
And we quit.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, I know we said it last time, but we were just joshing around,
But now
we were just
serious. We're serious. Oh my god, it's a weird place to be, recording something that isn't going to get released until later. It feels a bit time capsule-y.
It does. But imagine this is just how because you have to try and make it appeal to an audience down the line. I mean, we're saying this so dramatically, like it's not getting released in 7 days.
Yeah. So what about that thing that happened over this week?
Oh,
am I right?
Yeah. Crazy. Imagine something wild actually does happen and we just release this and it just comes off so tone deaf and fucking just like, oh my god, how could you not fucking talk about it?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's pray for a slow news week.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
I feel like when you have to pre-record stuff like this, you definitely want to avoid any things that are current. I think we got our current stuff out of the way last episode.
And we do talk a lot of shit about the creative world and whatnot, but there's a level of and I'm sure anyone who's done stuff like this agrees, there's self-doubt that goes throughout it. Imagine this is how most films and shows, they don't get released for months when they write it, months, even years when they first write it and then do it and blah blah blah. There must be a constant feeling of is this going to lose its weight? Has it already lost its weight?
Yeah.
One thing we can talk about, we never really talk about personal things, but this is kind of general and not specific really. For example, remember when we did the Lady Killers back in year 10?
Yeah. Back in year 10.
Yeah.
And we did a Lady Killers together.
Yeah, and it was fucking amazing. Yeah, and a bunch of other people. It wasn't a two. It was a two-man show. We did the heavy. No.
We were the
No, we're playing. But there was a bunch of people, obviously. And it was good. I mean, people really enjoyed it. But when we were rehearsing it, we started doing it so many months in advance that once we started to really enjoy it and get comfortable with it, there was a long period after that where we became so comfortable with it that we were just like, is this even good anymore?
Yeah, we did. Like, there were so many points where we were like, Jesus Christ, is this actually funny?
This is
Like,
literally terrible.
funny. This is awful.
Yeah.
Why are we doing this? Like, I don't know. It's very interesting that you bring that up because I think it is very prevalent. I guess to this episode specifically, but
Yeah.
I think just to the podcast in general, the amount of times that we've done the podcast now, and there's always going to be that worry of, is this even funny?
Yeah, and sometimes we've had episodes that we were like, oh, we completely smashed that. And then the response to it will be a bit more tepid. And then we've had episodes where we were like, it's one of our weaker ones, but we'll
why
release
did
it and
so
people
many
have
of you
enjoyed
fucking
it.
don't watch this?
Yeah, we told you not to watch it, you
We thought that was
hose.
the stinkiest fucking episode. We were like, this is such a fodder episode. We fucked it this week. And then
Yeah, because we had nothing to
Leave
talk,
that shit
nothing
there.
happened, and we were just waffling, and we edited it so many times.
And then we were like, yeah, this is great.
And we were like, we'll call it Don't Watch It, because
Like,
we
I'm
want
not
people to
complaining. I'm
know.
definitely not complaining. But I'm like, it was just like out of all of the episodes that would do better than the rest.
That was not the one that was not the finest display of our
Wasn't the one we
podcasting
were
skills.
expecting, that's for sure.
It's not
It
our
wasn't-
showcase episode, to say
It
the
wasn't the
least.
one that we were like, yeah, this is going to pull in so many new fans. I feel like us though. I feel like, and probably every creative, I feel like, and me definitely.
No, I'm sure this problem is unique to us.
But I kind of just get hung up on numbers a lot. I get hung up on numbers a lot.
Yeah.
And I did, like before this, I had like a little music review blog type thing. And I would just get hung up on the numbers like all the time. And I still get hung up on those numbers. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the music review page and I was getting hung up on the numbers.
It's weird. I think it is a weird byproduct, because the fact is, I mean, we joke all the time, blah, 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 creatives are fucking idiots and they're nerds and they're losers, fuck them. But there's a personal element to the work that you do in that kind of world. And it's a general world. Anytime you put something, I mean, more personal in it, even though we don't talk about personal things, it's still us, There is that element of, you associate it with yourself, so it's not just like doing a piece of work that other people would do in a similar way but kind of differently, and then releasing
and obviously
it,
that's not like
not
like anything groundbreaking, don't get us wrong.
No,
You go,
not at all.
oh yeah, we're fucking deep, fucking,
No.
We put ourselves into this, and so now we just like
we literally don't try. That was what we were talking about last episode.
But like I feel like every fucking YouTuber has had that fucking speech to their audience about, like, when they're taking a break and they're just like, oh, I just get so hot up on the likes and the dislikes and the hate and blah blah blah, and it's like, and obviously we're nowhere near that fucking level.
We're not.
Apparently, according to the numbers,
which we've been checking vehemently, apparently.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird to, as much as we are like self-referential and meta, and I know that bores a lot of people. It is, I will say, it's strange to, be recording this and just think in your head, this is only going out to X amount of people.
Yeah.
Like, as I've made jokes about it before, like, oh, nobody's gonna listen to this, nobody actually cares. We don't have a big audience.
No.
Our audience is quite small.
Yeah.
It's quite strange to sit here and record a podcast that, maybe 100 people will listen to.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also true, and you got to start somewhere and blah, blah, blah. But it's also, who cares? Like, I'm not particularly, we've had this discussion a number of times as well, outside of the, we do actually converse occasionally outside of the podcast walls.
Unfortunately, as much as I prefer to just schedule these Zoom meetings, just talk for this, and then, You know, we
and then
do
just
have-
not even speak about posting it. Just live our separate
Yeah.
lives, and then come back for the recording sessions.
yeah,
But we've had this like I'm not a heavily self-critical, self-doubty person, but even
that's
I
because of
feel
a
like
massive ego.
yes, that is exactly right. My unwavering belief in myself. No, but even I feel elements of that when you do creative stuff. I think it's pretty difficult not to, and I think in a way that probably makes people perform better. Perform in any creative field. I don't mean like actually perform, but I mean it goes back to that thing of like, you know, an element of pressure can hone certain people in on their talents.
True. Yeah, no. It's very true. So, you know, you won't see us fucking breaking down in tears in our YouTube videos going, we're taking, we're, you know, we're just, I've got burnout, I've got creative burnout. But,
Yeah,
you know, there are
we're
moments, there are moments of like, you know, uncertainty. Just to,
welcome back to the comedy podcast, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies.
and non-binary people.
Oh yeah, shit, I forgot.
Shout out to my they thems. Oh god. It's funny that you mentioned. Well, we don't actually talk about that many personal things on the podcast. It's funny that you bring.
No.
That up. I think we do that.
Yeah, I just thought it was like it was a little bit of insight into us without actually revealing anything. So
yeah.
that's where we're at.
No, it's true. It's true. Fucking hell.
I mean, we've gone heavily self-referential on this one. We could just run with it.
Yeah, we could do. We could do.
Plans for the future. We're pre-recording because we've got a busy schedule coming, and it was just more practical to be able to, if we could, try and, you know, get an extra one in the books and then just be able to do
You know,
it.
we've got this one in the bank, and you know, if worse comes to worse, we can always, you know,
Release
like
the forbidden episode.
the forbidden Addison Rae cut.
Oh no, the director's cut of the Addison Rae episode.
It's long and it's excruciating to watch for us, and we won't unleash that on you.
Not quite yet. But yeah, it is in terms of so that's why we're pre-recording this, and that will be probably a bit more of a busy case for not too long left now. Only really more like a month.
But we've got stuff planned for the future.
We do.
We've got
summer
opening up. Summer. It's gonna be a hot podcaster summer.
When we have a plan. I mean, we can reveal this. It's not top secret, really. We have a plan to hit a certain goal and do an in-person episode.
Yes,
and
so
then,
we do actually know each other in real life, guys.
Yeah, we have met
a couple of times. We're not just, you know, not just e-pals. So, you know, we do want an in-person episode once we actually figure out how to do that.
And we're in the same place.
Yeah, that too. You know, that's kind of required for in-person.
That is
things.
generally a good rule. And then we want to hopefully do a couple of cheeky guest spots.
Yeah. We want to get some people on because we've had people be like, "Oh, I think I want to be on the podcast," and I think, you know, that would be sick because you guys must get so fucking bored of just listening to me and Keith all the fucking time.
No. Excuse me. We started a podcast, so we're automatically interesting. I don't know what you're talking about. That's how it works, right? If you think people will listen to you talk, then you are automatically super interesting.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Yeah. But we do want to get some more people on. Try to think of other things that we have planned for the future. I think that's it for now. But
yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Merch coming down the road. Fucking hell.
You know, we could talk about this like, you know, oh, this is our plan. This is our, you know, we are going full head on into this, and we could talk about it
But-
like we're gonna have merch and we're gonna have the studio and we're gonna have this and that and the other. But you know, there is a very, very, very high possibility that this is going to go fucking nowhere.
Absolutely, and we shouldn't oversell our commitment to it in the sense of time. We have plans for the future, but in a limited capacity compared to things with sizable audiences. We're kind of at the moment, and probably for the foreseeable future, this is just until we officially quit. This is essentially more of just a background experience that we're enjoying and we're kind of just playing with at the moment,
Yeah.
really.
But we do
Above all.
really appreciate people listening to this, and that
Yeah,
I mean,
for real.
I don't want to, you know, understate that. Like we are genuinely like grateful for people who bother to listen to us, because, you know, I think I guarantee currently all of our listeners are going to be people that, you know, we know personally, or you know of us personally, and you probably listen to us talk a lot,
Yeah.
and then to go and
You're welcome.
and then to go and listen to us talk, but without having any input in the conversation, that's fucking brutal. And I feel so sorry for you all.
It's because we're sick, bro.
But we really appreciate it. We really do. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that, you know,
We're going to clickbait the shit out of this episode, by the way. It's going to be called The Truth or some shit like that. And it's going to get the most views since episode 2.
the truth. Brackets. I
Tom
almost
dies
died.
live. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, God. But we are, you know, we're grateful for you guys listening. And yeah, I can't remember what I was gonna say now because I just had a massive
fit.
coughing fit. Yeah.
One thing we have been discussing, and we're not sure about people's reception to it, is I'm sure, I mean, we don't know how dedicated the listeners are. Might just be a passive experience, which is completely fine. Most people listen to podcasts passively in the background and then pay attention every few minutes. That's kind of what they're good for.
But pay attention
Background
now.
noise.
If you're doing this in the background, pay attention now, because we are
Now, listen. Oi, yes, you.
Yeah, you.
But we've been kind of, I mean, maybe people have noticed, maybe they haven't, whatever. But we've been running with a less structure, I guess, to the podcast lately. I was looking for another word, couldn't find one. Here we are,
Yeah.
off the cuff. We've not been as topic heavy. And we think it makes it, we like the topics. If there is ever topics that we think of, it's not our default to not talk about topics. That's not what we're going for. It's not that there's stuff we want to talk about and we're deciding to go. It's just when there's not really much to talk about, we've been kind of running with this instead of trying to like create topics that aren't really there, which we've tried to do somewhat in the past. We're kind of just running with the natural thing.
Yeah.
And it's working okay, I guess, potentially.
Okay. But you know, sometimes we get to points like admittedly today, where, you know, it's been a slow news week, or like nothing has really happened to us that we can really talk about, and we get into positions like this where we kind of just waffle.
Let us know though, for real, actually.
Yeah.
Let us know if you prefer when we, like, because it did used to be a lot more bit heavy. Tell us if you preferred us talking about conglomerates and day traders and fucking generational wars and stuff, the good old days. No, but for real, let us know, because we will get back on that, because those we made tenuous links to the real world and kind of just ran with our own kind of bits. So we can easily go back to that as well.
As it is for us.
Yeah.
It's very, very much more for us. Don't get us wrong. Like,
this isn't
if you
about
suggest anything that we don't give a shit about, then we will fucking ignore.
We will pretend we didn't see your DM.
But, you know, hit us up. And tell people about us. Please.
Spread the word.
You know, we like attention. We like to be popular.
We do. So, Who doesn't love a cheeky bit of, you know, attention? So
this was kind of just like a quick little, like a What would it be? An update video? An update?
I guess we didn't intend to start it that way, but I think it was a
No.
good place. You know, if we do end up releasing
Yeah.
it as episode 11, if nothing wild happens,
Yeah.
then yeah, just
But
kind
we-
of a pit stop, see where we're at.
Yeah. Damn, I wish we could talk to these guys. If only there was a way that we could have a live conversation with our audience and they have some kind of input as well.
Maybe
If
we
only
should
there was a-
create an app.
If only there was a platform for that. Ah.
Right,
Guys,
we're
we
gonna
are proud to announce that we are currently on. Nah, we're not on stereo. Maybe one day.
maybe one day. Maybe one day soon, actually, potentially.
Yeah,
We're gonna get quite experimental with this. Because we were quite experimental for a while, and that's when we were more bit heavy and stuff. But lately, we've kind of taken our foot off the pedal with regards to that, and that's natural. It happens with everyone, blah blah blah. But we will be back to experimenting and playing with this more
yeah,
soon, in like a month, really.
absolutely.
And
We
we're
got-
gonna do some interesting things. We hope.
We got some cool shit going on. I think nothing crazy, nothing. We're not putting money into this basically, which I think is
Essentially,
the main thing. So, as much as the Zoom quality is, arguably
possible.
arguably not ideal. It's tolerable, but it's not, amazing. I think as soon as we start making money from the podcast, we'll put money into the podcast. But the likelihood we're not going to make money from the podcast.
Yeah, that's completely.
that's
I'm
okay.
sure it's just
And we're
valid.
just very happy that you guys are tuning into this fucking ramshackle Zoom call, £15 microphone, post it on Spotify, and we're done type shit.
All right, that's enough emotion. We're not going to emote for the next 10 episodes. We're going to be going bit heavy in the next 10 episodes. That's it. You heard it here first. We're going to be talking about, peanut allergies next episode,
Yeah, shout out
people
all
with-
my peanut allergy people. my peeps. Jesus, thank you guys for tuning in. If this episode does see the light of day, we are genuinely glad that you guys are listening. And if this episode doesn't see the light of day, then you will never know that we actually do have lives and feelings. Which is unfortunate.
lives, maybe feelings, maybe, yeah, potentially. Who's that? Never heard of her.
Anyway, we will see you guys in the next episode, which will be filmed hopefully on the week that it is meant to be.
Yes.
And yeah, see you on the flip side. Bye bye.
Hasta luego.